is above the law.
Nobody is above the law.
No one 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 is above the law.
Oh, son of a bitch.
No one is above the law.
No one is above the law.
Nobody is above the law.
No one is above the law. No one is above the law.
All right,
Nobody.
Welcome. Yeah. Sorry about that, guys.
Nobody is above the law.
Nobody's above the law. So welcome back, guys, to the Unrestrained Podcast. Here I'm Isaac Galvez. Say hi to the people, Alfred.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Unrestrained Podcast. One more podcast, bro. This is already our third podcast this week, man. How's everybody doing? I want to give a shout out to everyone at the Lexit Movement. Quick reminder, everybody follow us on the Unrestrained Podcast on YouTube, man. Go ahead and make contact with us. You'll see some of these podcasts in there. And also want to thank Lexit Movement for allowing us to join in on this stream here using their platforms, man. How you doing, man?
Good, man. So yeah, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's Unrestrained Podcast. That's Unrestrained Podcast. So we do not go live there. We go live on the Lexit platforms. But yeah, if you guys could definitely do us a solid, go in there when you get a chance. If you guys want to go back and watch this podcast again, you could go back in there, and it'll be posted there. I would say, by Thursday or something, Alfred?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so usually like maybe tomorrow night or something like that. But yeah, live, we're on the Lexit platforms. But yeah, guys, apparently, is anybody seriously surprised that Sleepy Joe pardoned his own son? I mean,
I want to say, I've been saying this on all the podcasts, that I get invited. I've been saying he didn't pardon his son; he pardoned himself.
Well, did he really though?
Well, yeah, of course, man. Think about it. A lot. If you look at the time frame from the date that he pardoned his son. I mean, March 2014.
Well,
all the way to now 2024.
Well, we'll read the article here on the Washington Post, guys. So bear with us because typically I spend more time getting ready for the podcast. Not that it's a lot of time, anyways, but had a busy day at work. We got regular jobs, and I really could not even plan for today. So pretty much last minute. But everybody's been talking about this. But yeah, the Washington Post, guys, it tells us here Biden didn't just pardon his son for the conviction on tax and gun charges, which is what the only charges he has against him that I know of, but for any offenses against the United States, which he has committed or may have committed or taken part of during the period from January 1st, 2014 through December 1st, 2024. Right, so that's nearly 11-year period during which any federal crime Hunter Biden might have committed, and there are none we are aware of beyond what's already been adjudicated, can't be prosecuted. Right, so we do know, according to the Washington Post, they don't know of what other crimes might have been committed, but technically they're correct. Right, He hasn't been convicted of anything else, but. Notably covers when he was appointed to the board of Ukraine energy company Burisma in 2014, all the way through Sunday, which is I think turned off way through Sunday, well after the crimes from which he was prosecuted. So it's obvious, guys, that I would think though, Alfred, that doesn't mean he still can't be brought up for questioning in committees, which I think should happen, right? Because now he can't take the fifth. There's no reason for it. He can't be convicted of a crime.
Right.
But I would think that now you can bring him in front of the committees and ask him pretty much every question you want, and he has to answer it. He can't plead the fifth. So I would think that it's easier for him to, I don't know, start naming some names. You know, he wasn't the only person involved. So I don't think necessarily Sleepy Joe is immune from being investigated and found guilty of a crime. I think that I think the issue, the reality though is, I was talking to a friend of mine and she brought up a good point, is that, you know, Sleepy Joe, you know, these things take years, right? And so realistically, Sleepy Joe, I mean, what do you think he's gonna look like in a year or 2 or 3 years from now, if he's even still alive?
I mean, think about it, man. The guy just took a trip out to Africa and just, you know, promised the African nations to provide $1 billion, bro. Can you imagine? This guy signing off, you know, he's just throwing his, you know, the American people's money like it's his. And the reality is, like, you know, we have people still in Maui that haven't, you know, Lahaina, right? In Hawaii that haven't really been able to take advantage of the $750, plus not taking consideration the North Carolina, you know, debacle, you know, that, you know, everybody was going around, you know, pretty much, you know, trying to give $750 to people at North Carolina. And if, you know, we heard, and again, these are, you know, these are things that people are saying, you know, that supposedly the money that they're providing was actually a loan. And, you know, so if these people can't pay, guess what would happen? You know, some of these properties will be removed. So there's a lot of, you know, theories and things. But now we're starting to see that the true fact of the matter was that, you know, the FEMA, you know, was actually denying, you know, people based on their political views. Because, you know, now we're starting to see, right? For many months, I think people were saying that's not happening. At least the left was saying that's not happening. They're not denying any claims for FEMA. And now we know that even a supervisor got fired for, you know, telling their staff or the people or the team to deny anybody that had Trump, you know,
Trump signs
out in the Trump supporters. Correct.
Yeah. So, you know, just getting back to, well, let's see who's jumping on here. Let's
Julie Antoinette Benini. Hey, Mac, what's up? Crash Out. Crash Out's back, bro.
Oh, Crash Out's back. Crash Out hijacked last week after the podcast, but yeah, we had a good conversation with him. And
Yes,
you know what? So I did listen back to that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
God, let me think, because I wanted to talk about it a little bit. And
how you doing, Maria Christina?
Yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah, so I think the thing about, well, I think, like I suspected during that conversation, if anybody wants to go back and watch the last podcast, you could go to the Unrestrained on YouTube and you could watch last week. And we had a conversation with Crash Out. He's on the chat right now. He called in and we had a pretty good conversation about, you know, African Americans.
Well, good questions that Latinos sometimes want to ask. You know, the black community or people that represent the black community, right? And, you know, it was very productive. I think it was very productive. There's a lot of conversations. I think you were asking some pretty good questions and Crash.
Yeah, I think we agree. I think we agree. I just, you know, but one of the things he kept talking about was how the system, you know, is, you know, he looks at the system, or he defines the system as like the news or all these pundits that are being paid.
Correct.
Right. Which I agree with.
Mm-hmm.
Right. We're on agreement there. I think after listening back to that conversation, we definitely do agree. I kind of, how do I say this without sounding like, you know how I talk about this, Alfred, how like,
yeah, of course,
how people get red pilled.
Yeah.
And then it starts off like they're questioning things,
right.
And there's like layers to you go from like, okay, you start questioning, and you're like, oh, I think Crash Out said, I think one of the things that started kind of make him question, well, not question. I don't, to be fair, I don't think that's what made a question, but one of the things he mentioned was in the black community, when you started seeing the government send money to Ukraine,
yep.
Right? And they're sitting here like, hey, wait a minute, you guys just told us that there's no money for reparations. They had already kind of let it go, right? And then all of a sudden now they're like, oh, wait, hold on. They're watching the news and they're like, whoa, wait, we're sending, billions of dollars to Ukraine. I thought we didn't have enough cash, right, to pay reparations, right? So what I'm getting at is like, that's how it starts, right? You start seeing things, and then I kind of see Crash Out as that point where now he's seeing things like at a very basic level. Like he's like, oh, okay, yeah, these guys are corrupt. These people have agendas. They're being paid, right? And then you get like to the point where there's like, you go from there, and then you start learning more and more, right? And then you get like Alex Jones style, right? Then you're like, okay, wait, it's more than just like people being paid, which yes, they are, but there's this agenda, and it's not a race thing. There is basically like a class warfare, right?
Correct.
And it's like the political class against the rest of us, the American people, right? Some people would say, people, Bilderberg group, if that's what you want to call it, right? Or, these, the other thing is, another thing is like, yeah, some people, but you have different people that get blamed, right? The deep state is one of them, right? We call the deep state. Then you're like, man, can I say this without getting canceled? Oh, the Jews, the Jays, we'll call them, okay? It's the Jews that are behind all this. They're looking to take it. Then it's the Bilderberg group, right? It's, what other names are out there? I don't know, guys. You guys can help me out. Bottom line is, at the end of the day, there is a group of very elite. There is an entity out there, right? This is where you start. What I'm getting at, this is where, yeah, he calls them small hats. Yeah, I figured. That's right. I wasn't connecting it in the conversation. I thought about it, and then I got sidetracked for something else when he kept saying small hats, and I was like, wait, small hats. I'm like, oh, that's the Jays. I'm gonna say the Jays, the small hats. I get it. Ben Shapiro wears a small hat. Yeah. Well, that would be. You know what? Maybe another time, Crash Out, we'll have another conversation about that. But I don't totally disagree, but then I also don't agree.
Right.
At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. That's what we call them, our real estate agents.
Real estate agents, that's right.
Yeah. No, it's just at the end of the day, we just need to understand that there's a group of people, and they're at a very elite, powerful position, and they do not love America. America's in the way of a larger plan. Correct. Right? So we can just generalize it like that, right?
Absolutely.
There's a larger plan, and America stands in the way, right, of that plan. And when you understand that, then a lot of this stuff makes sense, right? It makes sense that you're sending billions of dollars to other countries. It makes sense that you're not looking to rebuild, Hawaii, and you're not looking to send money and aid to North or South Carolina?
North Carolina,
right?
Florida.
Yeah, to Florida, right? All that makes sense, right? Yeah. And instead, you're going to send billions of dollars to Africa.
Billions of dollars to Ukraine.
Right.
Yeah, 100%. I think you're onto something, Sherlock, as we say, because the reality is that a lot of people are waking up, and a lot of people are smelling the coffee. They're starting to see that this, the battle between not only the classes, but now, Crash Out brought in a good point of view that it's, it's the divisions of the, of the races, right?
Right.
These are all, the races that, that they're dividing us. Not only did they divide us by gender, they're dividing us by race.
Right.
They're dividing us by categories, right?
Right.
And I think for the most part, a lot of people out there that are just starting to wake up and starting to see that, hey, it's true. If I'm paying close attention to the news, this is exactly what the news is pushing, right? The news is pushing their narrative because they're paid to do so. That's why you saw all that video, right? That mashup of all the videos of all the, the announcers or those that work in the media, right? And you saw the mashup saying the same thing. I don't know. I've seen it on X, right? Elon Musk always puts on, this is the danger to the democracy, right? When you have parrots that they're speaking the same narrative and they're just staying on course, right? It's like a script, staying on course. That's why we saw the pardon from, the Jean Pierre, Jean, what's her name?
Jean Pierre, or whatever
Jean
her
Pierre,
name
right?
is.
She stayed.
Jean, what? How do you say her name?
Jean Pierre, you know, but she stayed on point. You know, her point was continue to say the narrative, even though we're doing something completely different, because this is what the elites know. They know that, you know, a lot of people, most of the populations, they're ignorant to follow on what's going on.
Yep.
You know, they're just working. It's like working class. You know, me, you, Isaac. Isaac mentioned it earlier. Dude, I didn't even have time to, you know, to study, right? Because I was at work. That's what we do.
Yeah.
We unplug because we got to pay bills. We got to go to work.
Right.
And so when you have the general population just saying, I don't care, I don't give a damn, you know, what's going on in the world right now, you know, my priority is to continue to work, you know, continue to bring food to my family, you know, stay afloat with the bills, right?
Yeah.
They don't have that time to be dealing with the right, the left, you know, even that, you know, the class of the clashes, the genders and stuff, you know, so to each his own. But a lot of people now are starting to see, you know, Maria Cristina says, where we come from makes us a little less familiar with the little hats. There aren't many in 626 or 714 or 909. Now I live in the high dense area in Palm Beach, Florida.
Yeah,
the synagogue in every street corner.
Yeah.
Yep. I work out our elections and still voted Democrat this year. See?
Well, you know, look, okay. I hate getting into this conversation, man. Golly, man. So listen, man, this is the little hats. That's funny. That's the first time. Okay. So this is where I get torn, guys, with the little hat conversation, okay? Because I am a Christian, right? And I do believe that Israel is important, right? But two things can be true at the same time. Oh, are you there? Ooh, what happened there, Alfred? Oh, sorry. Okay.
No, bro. It's
okay.
just me.
Oh, sorry. All right.
I muted because I was drinking, bro.
Yeah. So, okay. So this is the problem. That as I'm a Christian, I understand. You know, the biblical perspective is that, you know, that the Jews have a special place in God's heart, right? We understand that they have blinders. You know, I grew up also Catholic, right? The Catholic point of view is that the small hats, right? Mm-hmm. The small hats, they crucified Jesus. They reject Jesus. It's true. That is a fact. They did crucify him. They do reject Christ. They do not acknowledge him. So as a Christian, you are in a weird position where, you know, you are supporting small hats, and well, really, I'm going to say Israel. Okay, mm-hmm. You're supporting Israel because, you know, our theology believes that is, you know, God's promised land, right? That is sacred land, and we are too. Those that bless Israel, or, you know, God will bless us, right? With that said, that does not mean that we blindly do not question, do not maybe reject some of the aid and help that is being proposed. Like, for example, I mentioned this before. There's a terrorist attack. Gaza, you know, these terrorists go out, they kill a bunch of people, right? Which, you know, now there's theories going out that a lot of that was made up. Totally possible. Mm-hmm. I don't have a problem with questioning that, but I get the problem. Like what they do to Candace Owens, what they've done to, which actually I was watching Anomaly the other day. Cause if you remember, when we had Jesse on, he said that, I guess Jesse, I guess he was having an issue with Anomaly because Anomaly no longer supports Israel. And so I watched an Anomaly talk on the issue, and I'm like, wait, what's the problem? Mm-hmm. All Anomaly is saying is doing the same thing generally that Candace Owens did, the same thing that what's his name, the rapper that was married to Kanye, right? Mm-hmm. All they've done is question things,
right?
You know, so if I say, like, hey guys, you know, there's some reports coming out that there were, you know, in the beginning when these terrorists came over, we were told that all these babies were being beheaded and put in ovens, right? But yet there really isn't any evidence. Like, we don't have pictures of this. Like, there's no video. There's no pictures. This was Israeli military. You know, it was based on their claims. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they could be lies. I mean, we've seen the American government has lied to us, right? I'm not saying that they're lying. I'm saying that if somebody questions it, you're now anti-Semitic. I guess that's my long-winded way of saying this, right? And that's where I have a problem with it. If I say, like, hey, guys, why are we all of a sudden the next day within that week trying to vote to send them billions of dollars in aid to help them fight this war? If I say, why are we doing that? Like, why are we having to send billions of dollars to Israel already? The war just got started, you know?
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, I'm anti-Semitic. Like, why? Why is that anti-Semitic? Why? If I question, I mean, when we question Ukraine sending millions of billions of dollars to Ukraine, nobody gets mad about that. All I'm saying is I'm just applying the same logic that I do to everything else. It just seems like when it comes to Israel, I have to admit, yes, if all of a sudden it's like you get treated different.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying, Alfred? So as a
100%.
Christian believer, it's like, no, I'm not. To me, I don't see how I'm being anti-Semitic or how I'm not supporting Israel just because I'm not okay with sending them billions of dollars to help them fight a war when, first of all, it's not our war. Second of all, do they even need the money yet?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like,
I mean, it's like the question was, and I get what you're saying. I think for the most part, there is a lot of people that believe, you know, this is God's children, right? These are, you know, these are the descendants. This is the blessed country, and we get it. A lot of people are you know, we have to stand. I mean, I stand with Israel 100%, and I guess what you're saying, and you can prove me wrong, is it's just. You know, questioning certain actions like right away between, you know, for example, you know, you got it right. October 7th comes, you know, the following day, what did you hear? Let's send, you know, $3 billion, right, to help them secure their. Right. Well, wait a minute. You know, first of all, they still got the wall. You know what I mean? Like, they still got their, you know.
Well, they have Star Wars. They have a defense system. They have a very powerful military.
Yes,
I
100%.
would think they have plenty of money to fight a war for at least 6 months. At least 3 months. I don't know, right? Like, again, it's just insane. So if anybody kind of disagrees, like, hey guys, how about we don't send them any money? Like, do we really need to send them money? Right? Then all of a sudden I'm not supporting Israel. No, I'm just saying, like, I don't want to get taken advantage of. Mm-hmm. I'm questioning, do they need the money? Why are we really sending the money?
I mean, I can understand. I can understand why you're questioning that, and in a sense, you saw Bibi coming back and say, "Hey, well, you know, the situation was that, hey, you guys promised us, you know, like artillery, right, weapons,
right,
you know, to continue to protect ourselves." And then, you know, there was a huge. He didn't bring it out. He didn't go out into, you know, and started saying, "Well, you know, they're not doing." No, later on, he said, "Hey, well, listen, you know, this was a conversation that was done in between closed doors, and you know, just let it be known." You know, we've been told that we will not be getting, you know, certain weapons, you know, certain bullets and stuff like that, ammunition. I think that was the whole conversation. But you're right, you know, like the money. I mean, you know, why do you know that's one of the things that I'm starting to see, and I'm starting. I mean, we're seeing it right now.
Yeah.
The situation with Joe Biden going anywhere and just, you know, flopping money like it's his. That's a big problem, you guys. That's a problem for not only for a country, a nation, especially us that, you know, we have the working class out here, you know, working hard, man, that we have to pay a certain amount of money. And these guys are going out and just spending it like drunken sailors. And that's the problem. And I'm seeing this. I think now I'm seeing it more than ever. And I think you should be too, right? Have a what do you call it? Distrust?
A healthy distrust.
A healthy distrust of your government. We're not saying, hey, listen, hate your government. You're in a situation where you're protected by your government. Thank God, right? That we have a strong government, right? At least in my mind, I'm thinking that way. But at the same time, I question certain things, like, for example, government entities, you know, that have the power to support. For example, FEMA, right? That had the power to support North Carolina. This is the government trying to support, but here we are, investing billions of dollars into other places' borders. You know what I mean? Like including Israel,
Right.
including Ukraine. We're so worried about other places' borders while ours is completely open. So
Yeah.
I question. Like, I'm with you.
Yeah. So I'm gonna just move on and get back because there's a lot more I want to say, but we'll get in trouble here. But anyways, getting back to Hunter Biden.
What did Maria say? Maria said, "My point." I can't read it out. Can you read it?
My point of bringing it up. Let me see. Oh, it moved up.
Oh, moved up. Okay.
Bringing up. That's to say that this is where we grew up, and you all know we were limited to Mexicans. Yes, it's funny because I'll tell you about that. Blacks. I'm trying to read it from this far. One on one side of the town, and Chinos by the early 90s. I don't think I even knew a little hat. Oh, okay. I think her point is you don't.
Got you.
Yeah, you don't really. I think she was in California. I think she meant she was in California before, which we don't see a lot of little hats out here.
Yeah.
But to her point, yes, you see a lot of. Here in California, my sister went to Orlando. She was there for Thanksgiving week, and I think she, put to Maria's point is my sister came back and she's like, because she's never really been outside of California. Like, I don't know if she's ever been aside from going to Mexico.
Right.
But she was in Orlando for the week, and she's like, man, for the first time, she really understood she was the minority because everybody there was white, right? Oh, she was at the resort, so
Right.
I don't think they ventured off from there. So it seems like, well, there's Cubans. Supposed to be a bunch of Cubans everywhere.
Yep.
Right?
Callacho.
But I guess she maybe in the resort. But yeah, to your point is yes. Once you get out of California, it's a different world.
Completely.
But anyways, getting back to this story with Biden's son, this is the kind of stuff, man. See, this cash out, this is the kind of stuff that I would think would piss black people off. And this is not a racist statement, right? But his son was pardoned, right? And I guess he was facing, what was this? Oh, wait, let me make sure I didn't lose my, I'm on the wrong article. I'm reading the article. ABC News, yes. So over the summer, a jury found younger Biden guilty of 3 felony counts related to his purchase and possession of a firearm while addicted to drugs. So he was freaking high as a kite, apparently, and got caught with the weapon. And in September, Hunter Biden agreed to plead guilty to 9 tax-related charges, including 3 felonies and 3 felonies on the eve of what was expected to be a lengthy and grueling trial. So at the end of the day, I'm trying to remember now because this story, I was not into this story because to me, I don't really care about the gun charges.
I don't care about the tax.
I want him. Yeah, I didn't even care about the
tax
plea
evasion,
deal, right? Tax evasion. I want him getting caught on the Burisma thing.
Yep.
But guys, the rest of us, I mean, just getting caught with drugs, people are in jail for right now, right? Right now,
people are in jail just for praying in front of a
Beverly Beatty's in jail right now.
Exactly.
If you guys know who Beverly Beatty is, right? She's a black woman. She's an activist. She stands out in front of the Planned Parenthoods to protest against people going out there and getting abortion, trying to encourage women not to do it, saving black babies, right? And she gets put in jail for it, federal prison. And how about her? How about she gets a pardon? Like, what justification did Sleepy Joe give for pardoning his son? He ended up saying that it's because his son was being targeted by the Attorney General of the United States, right? Which, according to him, I thought to everybody they were legitimate, fair, non-biased, right? So apparently, even Sleepy Joe thinks that the Attorney General's office is corrupt, right, and is weaponizing their office to go after political opponents, because that's really what he used to justify pardoning his own son, right? So yeah, how many people out there right now that should just be pardoned?
Yeah. Well, think about it. You know, we got people that are in jail, right? That they've been in jail for approximately almost 3 to 4 years because they were allowed in by Capitol Police, into, You know, the Capitol State Building.
Right.
You know, on the West Bank, you know, you had everybody taking a tour, police in front of them and behind them, right? Walking them into everywhere. And in the East Side, you had agitators, right? Dressing like MAGA, right? That later on, you know, you guys heard some of the things, some of these committees asking questions like, did we have FBI agents agitating in buses beforehand, right? Do you remember? You know, but we have people, we have grandparents, you know, we have grandpas that are still locked up. 1,500, right, have been imprisoned. Thank you, Rose, victorious. She says, remember the 1,500 of VP in prison, you know, and look, bro, 100%, you know?
Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah, weed possession, right?
Yep.
In jail right now, even though it's legal now, right? I mean, it's a slap in the face, guys, to us. This is just another example, right? That there's a two-tier system in the Justice Department right now that the rules don't apply to these people, okay? And at this point, I don't care, you know, Trump I would get really annoyed when he's like, well, I'm going to, you know, when they'd ask him, are you going to pardon J6ers? And he'd say, oh, well, we'd have to look at it case by case, but, you know, if they didn't do anything, you know, that he would pardon them. Right. No, I don't care what they did at this point. I don't care if they broke windows. I don't care if they kicked doors down. I want them pardoned, because there's no way that I believe that even one person that was there at J6, right, really went there with the intention of breaking into the Capitol building. Okay? If anybody did anything crazy, they were enticed to do so, because we already know that, I mean, we know already that there was plants in there, government plants in there antagonizing and encouraging them to cause chaos, right? We saw the videos, the footage is there, it's all evidence, it's all recorded, right? So I don't want anybody in jail that made a stupid decision and went in there, and just because some guy antagonized them to break a window or cause some damage, no, I want that person pardoned. That's what I want.
100%. And I think for the most part, the American people, everybody's looking, everybody's paying attention. Now we're able to see. That's why when we played the video earlier, when we said, hey, nobody's above the law. Remember? No one's above the law except Hunter Biden. Remember? Weren't any of them were saying this? You know, no one's above the law. No one, right? And in this case, they were talking about Donald Trump. And it's kind of like a smack in the face, you know, to say, yeah, you know, right now, you know, your president pretty much just slapped you silly, right? And said he is above the law, right? And his son is above the law. So, yeah, you know, that's one of the things, you know, that I know a lot of people, and I hear this from the left. They're saying, MAGA, stop crying because of the pardon. Because of the father love, right?
Listen,
the father love.
I'm not even crying about it. Look, to me, if he had just pardoned him for the gun charges and the drugs, I'd be like, bro, you're the dad. I get it. Okay? Yeah. But the fact that the pardon extends to all federal
11 years,
going back 11 years, current and future crimes. I think it goes to like, man, I don't want to get the date right, but wrong, I should say. Not that. I think it goes to like January 20th or something crazy. So like even future crimes, guys, like he literally can go in New York, shoot somebody in the head because not in New York, in Washington, D.C. If I might be wrong, but my understanding is that any crime committed in Washington, D.C. is a federal crime. I could be wrong about this, but it doesn't matter. He could commit any federal crime right now. Okay, I mean, what would be a federal crime? I guess what would be labeled just a federal crime?
Well, you know, of course, the IRS, you know,
he could stop paying his taxes right now. I
mean,
guess.
Right now, they're, you know,
and he's still. I mean, he doesn't pay him anyways.
I mean, right now, I've heard that, you know, he's got a $300,000 loan that hasn't been paid, and it's due. It's coming up soon. So guess what's gonna happen? You know, like somebody's gonna want their money, right? And
well, you know what he could do, Alfred? He could go to the Capitol building, right, and kill one of the Capitol Police, right, and not get charged with anything.
Yeah,
he could beat him up. He could break the windows. He could, for funs and giggles, get some slingshots. You know what I mean? And just start breaking glass off the White House, and no problem, guys.
No issues.
No problem. No crime committed, right?
Nope.
Super crazy. But anyways, guys, switching gears. So Spencer Rogers on X, I had seen this, calling out another, but last week on the last podcast, we actually called out Trump for what's her name, Janet, the Surgeon General, which is a bad pick for his cabinet, right? Because she's a COVID-loving, vaccine-promoting, freedom-hating person, I guess. But fortunately, in this case, I guess Chad, what is this, Chroninsters?
Yep.
Or Chronister? I guess he's up there in Mary's neck of the woods, another Florida person. This was his DEA pick, right? And on X, I had seen this a few days ago. Spencer Rogers had posted that this guy, warning that this guy had some huge red flags. So here, I guess he calls out, says in March of 2020, he was arrested. He had arrested a local pastor who kept his church open during COVID. So this was the DEA pick right here, right? This Chad, who was the DEA pick. He was calling him out on a few things. He's a big Democrat donor. He gave money to Democrat Barack Obama, Mayor Jane Castor, Congresswoman Kathy Castor, Congresswoman Charlie Crist, and the DNC. Crosturner was weak on crime. He released a criminal with 35 priors, who then went out shortly after his release and murdered somebody. So I guess he was weak on crime. And then he was weak during the BLM riots, having his deputies stand down as rioters destroyed property, including a gate at the county jail. So yeah, he put out a whole list of all this stuff. So fortunately, this guy came out and resigned. So yeah, Spencer Rogers came out and resigned. I don't know if you have that article up there, Alfred. But I guess he came out. I had read that. Oh, here we go. Spencer Rogers. Actually, no, this isn't it. Do you still have it up there, Alfred?
Yeah, I'm trying to grab it. Give me 1 second here. Bear with me. Just gotta jump in between screens. Yep. Yeah, but that's true. That's a true statement here. Boom, 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 boom. And here we are.
Oh yeah. So Hillsborough Sheriff Chad Christian Chronister. Right. Is that his name? Oh, you had it up.
Yep. Sorry about that. Here.
Withdraws as Trump nominee to lead the DA. Thank God, guys. So do we believe it? Because here he's saying, I think I read the article earlier, and basically he's just saying that after it kind of set on him the pressures and the responsibility, he went to Instagram and decided that it was going to be too much for him. So he went ahead and withdrew his nomination. So I'm hoping and I believe that, yes, the people came out and pressured. Yeah, see, is that where he says?
Yep.
Yeah, see, so he says, over the past several days, as the gravity of this very important responsibility set in. Oh, you moved it, Alfred.
Oh, sorry about that.
I've concluded that I must. Can you scroll down?
Oh, where are we at?
I've concluded that I must respectfully withdraw from consideration. So, thank God, guys, we got saved from another freaking crazy, and let's just hope that this Attorney General, that Janet, ends up withdrawing also, guys.
Yeah, the pressure's on, man. I think for the most part, man, we are starting to see the huge problem. I mean, we're starting to see that, we have people out there, man. We have antennas. We got people out there that are doing research, bro. Like for example, we saw Laura Loomer, called out somebody. She was. Kash Patel was meeting somebody. And Laura Loomer just laid out the receipts and said, look, be careful, Kash. This lady right here cannot be trusted. And boom, 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 boom. She has a business. Blah, 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 blah. She hates Trump. She went. She actually voted for Jed. For Jeb Bush. and she cannot be trusted, blah, blah, blah. See, but that's what I'm saying. The tentacles, of DC are so wide and they look sweet, but they're sticky, bro. They're sticky. And unfortunately, these people are in there and they're having these discussions with all these people, right? But these people are plants. These people are there. They're kind of like just gathering information because they all know each other. It's like a huge community. They all know each other. So yeah, it's scary. But yeah, I think that you mentioned this in the past. You've said this in the past. Trump needs to learn and really just close the knit between these plants and these people out there that are just providing all this intel, right?
Yeah. Because
at the end of the day, they're gathering up information just to pass it on. To be able to at the end of the day to be the lame walk, the lame duck process to limit what Trump can do, and he only got 4 years. So what can he accomplish in 4 years? That's what we everybody's out to say, hey, let's crack it down. But if we have plants, DC, Senate, Congress, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be tough.
Yeah. I think somebody else is also questioning his treasurer pick. Who is his treasurer pick? I don't think I've seen that one.
I don't know. Question the treasurer pick.
Rose Victorious. I guess she.
She said okay. Oh well, the treasurer pick.
Okay, see, treasurer
has very questionable ties as well. See, that's what I'm saying. Who's doing the evaluation? Who's evaluating these people? Who's going out there and really just laying out? Hey, let's do a full on, investigation into these people.
What is Trump treasury pick to meet soon? Key senator. Well, what's his name? Scott Bessent.
Is it? Oh, Scott Bessent. Oh, okay, got you.
Scott Bessent. Says Homer Bessent is an American hedge fund manager.
Rose Victoria says because it has web web connections.
Was a partner at Soros Fund Management.
Wow.
And the founder of Key Square Group.
Thank you,
a
Maria.
global macro investment firm. Well, that's anything with Soros on it is already scary.
That's already questionable. Maria Christina said Scott Bessent.
Yeah.
Thank you, Maria. Yeah, that's true. And Rose Victoria says they have ties with WEF connection. So WEF, you guys know, the World Economic Forum.
Yeah, man, guys, sneaky, man. We got to stay on top of this.
You're not gonna hear this in Telemundo or Univision or MSNBC. I'm telling you, they're just wrapping up. All they're talking about out there is hate towards Trump's pick. But here we are. Look, journalism. That's why citizen journalism is so important. Listen, all of us, we need to get in there and just be, look out and gather information and, and share it.
Yeah. So, this is, I just saw Crash Out just reminded me of another thing I was thinking about because he had mentioned, no, it's all good. He had mentioned to me about how he doesn't vote. And one of the things I didn't get to really communicate in that conversation is that we know that the Democratic Party is completely gone. They're a lost cause, right? So the Democratic Party has been totally taken over by the
hijacked.
You could call them the small hats, the Bilderberg Group, the World World Order. These elite, the deep state, right? They've been completely taken over. They're completely under that control, right?
100%.
They're a lost cause. There's not one person, not one politician that thinks for themselves or that is not subordinate or 100% controlled by the small hats or the deep state, right? The Republican Party, on the other hand, is still salvageable, right? And so once you kind of start understanding the game, and this is kind of what we're doing here, right? We're seeing we know who the good guys and the bad guys are within the Republican Party, right?
Correct.
The Mitch McConnells are the bad guys, right?
Yep.
They're corrupted. The people like your Matt Gaetz, I don't know. Let's throw some names out there.
The Ted Cruz,
Ted
Jim
Cruz,
Jordan,
Ted Cruz. Okay, all right. There are some people that we're still not sure about.
Bro,
okay?
I'm telling you, Blackburn, Marshall Blackburn. I'm telling you, these people, man. I mean, come on, guys, come on now. Let's call a spade. And sometimes we just see that's when we bring out these conversations of being, we just want you to think above what you're seeing, right? You know, it's great that you get to see people out there that are saying, and this is for the great people, you know, the Chip Roy and the what's his name, the guy from North Carolina.
Yeah, Byron Donalds that guy's a solid dude.
Solid dude.
Yeah.
I Byron Donalds, he's been put through the fire.
Yeah.
Tim Scott. Remember Tim Scott? Come on now. You know, I'm saying that these are the people.
Yeah.
We're calling out these names. Once we're
Right.
calling out these names, you guys should already been able to know, like, it smells funny
Okay,
here.
so let me put it this way: we have the guys we clearly know are deep state, the easy ones. Mitch McConnell, easy, right?
Then you got
Kevin
got
McCarthy, easy, deep state, easy, right?
100%. You got the two. You know, you got the one from Alaska, Murwaski, whatever. Who else? We have
Yeah, a lot of black sheep and that's right, Albie. Tim Scott.
Tim Scott. No, well, you know.
See, so then you get okay. So this is what I want to get at. Let me just hear me out, Alfred.
Yeah, sure.
Then you have the other category in my mind, and this is just me, okay? Then you have guys like Ted Cruz that you're like, man, okay, I'm not sure yet. You've done some things that make me question whether you're deep state or not. Jim Jordan, right? Love Jim Jordan, but then it's like, okay, bro, you're a little suspect to me because you promised a lot of investigations, but yet like nothing happened. But then I could give them a pass because, you know, they don't really have any power to put anybody in jail. All they can really do is, you know, have these committees. So like, okay. So there's guys that I have like in this questionable category, right? Where the jury's out on these guys.
Right.
You know, Jim Jordan, I'm not totally convinced is deep state, but I'm not saying he is. I'm gonna right now in my mind. Okay, I kind of still trust you, bro, but I got an eye on you. Okay,
you know, like Kennedy. Remember that?
You don't got a lot of There's a very short leash on him, right? Then you got guys like J.D. Vance is new to the scene, guys. Do we really 100% trust right now? J.D., bro, you're doing good. Okay, J.D., you're doing good. This is my conversation with you. You're doing good. I can give you a pass for your criticism in the past of Trump because you were young.
Yep.
So I can see like, okay, I could give you an excuse. I can see that you learned, and now you see, okay, Trump is not who you thought he was. You're good to go, right? So if he does something crazy now, I can't give him a pass. If he comes out and endorses Kevin McCarthy, bro, sorry, JD, you don't got it like that, okay? Yes, see, Maria's on the same page. Jordan, suspect, Cruz, Rubio, Maria, I have to say, Rubio, for me, I've already put him in the deep state class, okay? He's already gone there. Like, he's not even on the suspect. He's, Rick Scott, I'm with you too. Suspect. He's on the watch list right now, right? You know, then you got, you know, right now we got Vivek Ramaswamy, guys, right? I don't know yet. He's still new. Okay, but so far so good, Vivek. Right? So far so good. You're good. You're still new to the team. You don't have a lot of we got to look at these guys like the JDs and Vivek. Yep. Like you just got them on your team.
Yep.
Right?
You're glad to have somebody that can talk.
You know,
that can
let's
articulate.
just use a basketball now. Okay, bro, you've hit some threes.
Yep.
You've had some good you got some good ideas, bro. You've hit some game winners for us, right? Elon, the guy doesn't need to do much more, bro. In my book, he's full on. First of all, he's not a politician, right? He has proven himself on all his interviews, the way he's come after the woke mob. Elon, in my book, he's on the team, guys. And as a matter of fact, he's one of the team captains, and I accept him as a team captain, right? You think Rose thinks Elon's a Trojan horse? I don't know. See,
the thing, I don't believe he is. I think because of the sentiment that Elon.
He's got so much to lose right now.
Exactly.
And the way they're coming after him,
right?
It's hard for me to think he's a Trojan horse. I mean, they're out to right now. He is enemy number one,
right?
For the media,
for the media,
even above Trump right now.
Yep.
Okay, he is a bigger threat to them than Donald Trump.
100%.
Okay. I mean, I was watching PBD earlier, and I think he made an excellent point, man. He has this prediction, and I 100% agree. They're going to try to find a way to drive a wedge between him and Donald Trump. And I think one of the strategies they will employ, this is what PDBD predicts, and I think he's 100% correct, is that they are going to try to get Trump to be jealous of Elon, right? In other words, put out stories like that Trump is Elon's puppet. Like we see them laying out the narrative that Elon is a Russian informant, that he sells out secrets, or the same thing they're doing to what's her name? Former Democrat.
Yes.
Oh God.
Jeez, I forgot her name. What she's Lee's. I forgot her-
Former
Hawaii.
Democrat nominee for
Hawaii.
from Hawaii. Help
She's
us
in
out.
the military.
Golly, she's in the military. With the,
Come on, man.
She's beautiful with the white streak. Come on, guys, help us out.
They're gonna go.
Yeah.
Rose Victoria says Elon, and then she says makes sense. Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. See, it's
Tulsi
Tulsi
Gabbard. Yes, thank you. God,
Thank you, Rose. Golly,
Yeah.
see, Tulsi Gabbard. We say her name all the time.
I think Tulsi, she's good to go.
100%.
Think
Think about it. She's military. You know, she's.
Well,
and
the
again,
military part means nothing to me
Okay,
because
well-
because put it like what's his name, the one-eyed patch guy from Texas.
100%. No, I agree with you. I agree with
He's
you.
former military,
Correct.
and the guy turned out to be a total freaking traitor rhino, right?
Right, like Ken Singer, right?
Yeah.
Airman. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You know, but at the end, but this is good. This is one of the things. Yeah, Tulsi Gabbard, Maria, thank you so much. See, that's what I'm talking about, man. When we have these discussions and we can share ideas, you know, we don't. It's okay to disagree, but at the end of the day, we're having these discussions where we can discuss and say, hey, you know. Like somebody has a concept of, you know, Elon being a Trojan horse, and I get it.
Yeah, Dan
But-
Crenshaw. Yeah,
Yeah.
Rose, you're saving. I'm so
Crenshaw.
bad with names, guys.
Correct.
So Dan Crenshaw was one
correct.
too that he came in the scene and you're like, oh, this guy's legit.
On fire, bro.
Oh, he's legit. He's an outsider.
What
right?
about the other one,
And
Kennedy?
and then you start, yeah.
Kennedy, what's his name? Godly, one of the senators, Kennedy. You know, he's done a couple of committees. He's involved with committees, but then when he votes Democrat. You know,
Yeah, so you gotta. So the cash out. The problem. So to the point we're making here is, unfortunately, you gotta spend so much time keeping an eye on these guys, seeing how they vote, right? Seeing what positions they take when it's crunch time, right?
Yep.
Because they go out there and talk all pretty and say all these good things, but let's just say, for example, we have a bill like this is how you don't really know the bad ones, like a spending bill, like the government shutdown thing, right? We get to the budget,
right,
right?
and then they added a CR.
Right, and then they start adding all this pork,
Yep.
and then you have guys like, you find out that there's a bill in there that has, let's say, funding for abortion or money for Ukraine.
Yep.
Right? Let's just say money for Ukraine is in this bill. And then all of a sudden now, it's like, oh, if they don't vote for this, then we're going to shut down the government, okay? And then you look at guys like Ted Cruz, and you're like, okay, Ted Cruz, let's see how you're going to vote, Ted.
Right.
Let's see how you're going to vote,
Marsha
Ted
Blackburn,
Cruz.
yep.
Are you gonna vote for this bill? Just so they don't shut down the government? Are you gonna fold, right? Because you're being threatened with the government shutdown, even though Ted Cruz, you know that there's money for Ukraine in here, right? Are you gonna compromise, right? So that's when that's when you start figuring out who's full of crap and who's not. Right? Yeah, John Kerry. Yeah, pendejo. Yeah, that pendejo from Utah. Yeah.
Yep.
The Mitt Romney. So these guys all like talk a good game, but you got to start paying attention when they're put in a position where it's like, okay, well, how are you going to vote on this bill?
100%.
How are you going to vote on this one, huh?
Yeah.
Or how are you going to, are you going to vote against Obamacare, for example? Right? Are you going to vote for it now? You've been saying you're going to do it. Here you go. Right? This is how I test Trump.
Yeah.
Right? This is how I test Trump. When you say, okay, who are you going to endorse, Trump? When you had a chance to endorse Jim Jordan, right, to be Speaker of the House, you did nothing. You let him not get voted in, and then all of a sudden we get this guy Michael Johnson that nobody knows who he is.
Well, yeah, Michael Johnson, correct.
Right? Michael Johnson comes to the scene, and all of a sudden Trump wasn't chiming in. He wasn't getting involved. And all of a sudden, Michael Johnson comes in, and here comes Trump. Oh, we need to vote for this guy. right? And look at what we got. Michael Johnson. So this is why Trump, for me, Trump is, in my book, guys, he's on the team, but I got an eye on him. But
Yep.
the problem is he's like the only head coach we got.
That's all we got.
He's the best head coach we got on the team, right? It's like, yeah, my dream head coach out there, like Phil Jackson isn't available, right?
Yeah, right.
But you know, we got to keep an eye on Trump because, you know, we've had games here where he's not calling a timeout where he should be calling a timeout. Or he's putting in Michael Johnson to take the last three. You know what I'm saying? The last three, you know, or he's putting in LeBron James here, you know, calling a play for him to take the last shot when we all know he sucks. But you get my analogy here.
Yes.
You look at Trump and you look at him as a coach, and then we've seen him make some pretty bad decisions. But unfortunately, we got a pretty good team this time around, right? This is how I'm looking at this administration. We got a good squad. We got some good assistant coaches, okay? And, you know, we got a good team, so we can make up for these bad decisions from time to time.
100%. I agree, man, and it's 100% true. I mean, in fact, the fact that you know, Senator Republican leader Mitch McConnell, you know, had a whip by the name of Republican John Thune, right? And remember who John Thune is. This guy is the guy that votes, you know, Democrat all the time. You know what I mean? Like, the guy's part of a Republican Party. He, as we call him, right? The Rhino, right? The Republican in name only.
Yep.
But their actions is completely different. You know? So this guy is actually the one that's just, you know, like, now I see it on X. Everybody has him on the eye. Everybody's saying, dude, honestly, we don't like you. We don't know. You know, we know that you have a problem. And the reason why is because look at how they vote.
Right.
You know, look at the way they vote. We were talking, Heckle, we're talking about Senator Republican Whip John Thune, who's currently right now, he became the Republican Senate majority, or the leader, right, of the Republican Party, because now you know that, you know, Mitch McConnell is due to retire soon, right? The guy is freezing, you know, like, unfortunately, he's too old, and he's freezing on camera, bro. And unfortunately, he does not want to leave now because guess what? He's got too much to lose. Too much control to lose, too much power to lose.
I don't understand. And we'll move on to the next subject
100%.
after this, but
100%,
like-
Heckle, he's
like-
got to go.
like these people that are this old, I just put myself in this situation, guys, and maybe I would assume everybody on the chat would agree. For me personally, and maybe I'm not as ambitious of a person as I should be, but I don't want to work anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I want to just like, you know, I like adventuring. I do a lot of, I have an adventure van. We take road trips. I'm a weekend warrior, guys. I rather be in the woods. I rather be in the nature. If I could live full time and be one of those van life people, that's what I would do for the rest of my life. And when I look at these guys, and I'm like 47, okay? And I look at these guys like Mitch McConnell. Do you really believe, like, what motivation do they have? The guy's practically a walking zombie. The same thing with Sleepy Joe, right? I mean, Sleepy Joe, I can look at him and he's like, okay, his motivation to still be out there doing this is because, dude, the guy pretty much has to do what he just did, is protect his family, right? Because they've been committing a lot of crimes. So the guy has no choice but be out there and be put in a position where he can pardon his son.
Of course.
And protect his family from all of them from going to, there's probably other people involved. So I see his motivation. What's Mitch McConnell's motivation? Like, why is that guy still out there? Why not just go home, bro? Why did, like, Nancy Pelosi? Like,
Power, greed, money.
but bro, you've when are you gonna enjoy the fruit of your greed, of all the crime that you've committed? You know, like, I understand they're crooked, but like, Nancy Pelosi, you've all of you. When are you gonna enjoy the fruit of your crime? Not the fruit of your labor, because there's no labor, but when are you gonna enjoy the fruit of your crime? You know what I mean? Like you look at Godfather.
Yep.
Even the Godfather was gonna retire. You know what I'm saying? In the movie The Godfather, he was getting his son ready to take over the family, right? And the whole deal. and he was just chilling. Well, what was that? Well, that Godfather, was it 2 or 3, right?
Right.
Godfather, was it 2 or 3? He's already where he dies. He's out there hanging out, you know, in the clothesline with his grandson running around, right? Enjoying his empire that he built with all the crime. Like, when are these people going to do that? I don't understand why they're still out there doing this to themselves. So I don't get it.
It's all for power, man. Maria Cristina said he will have more power to stop Trump's agenda than he does as a Senate Majority Leader. 100%. I agree. I strongly believe that this guy's there.
Who's he?
I'm
Who are we
talking about Mitch McConnell.
But what does he care anymore? The guy's old. He's got like a year, 2 years. What does he care?
Well, remember, a lot of people have been saying this, that, for the most part, a lot of, if you want to destroy a nation, right? You can't, and there's no nation power enough than the U.S., but we do have power enough rhinos that can buckle down the strongest nation. Exactly how Rome fell.
Oh, okay, Alfred, this is what I'm getting at. Okay, this is what I'm getting at. All of us here, we're all the team, right? We're all the small hats here, okay? And we have this agenda. We want to stop Trump now. This is what you guys are telling me. This is where I have a hard time with this, okay? I'm Mitch McConnell, and how old is Mitch McConnell?
Bro, he's like 70-something, 70, well, he's like 80-something. I don't know how you...
Let's see. How old is Mitch?
I'll tell you right now. Mitch McConnell with the NDA government.
Okay, so Mitch McConnell is...
It doesn't say. I was trying to look at all this stuff.
82 years old.
82.
Okay, so he's 82 years old. What's say his birthday expired? He's 82 years old. But okay, regardless, the guy is a zombie. The guy can't even. He freezes up.
Yep, 100%.
Okay, so like when does like taking over the world become less important? You know, like I'm 82 years old. Okay, I might live another year or two. Like, do I have to keep trying to take over the world until I die? Is that how that works? Like, I literally spent every day of my life trying to take over the world and end Trump. Like, it's just insane. But anyhow, that's kind of what it just blows my mind when I think about that kind of stuff. But anyhow, guys, yeah, right? Anyhow, so moving on to this story here on, we're talking about Trump. It does sound like he's learned some things, right? Mm-hmm. Because we see here this article. Where is this out here? Let's see. This is on the Semaphore. But despite agreement, Trump nominees may seek to avoid FBI background checks. So this article, it's actually, I'm loving the fact that some of these nominees, they don't want to be vetted by the FBI because they've learned their lesson, right? Mm-hmm. They've learned their lesson. So let's read here. Donald Trump's transition team on Tuesday signed a memo with the Justice Department that could pave the way for background checks on and security clearances for his nominees. That may not be enough for senators, mostly Democrats, who want to see all of Trump's picks undergo FBI background checks. The typical practice for the past nominees. So obviously we know that typically these guys get vetted by the FBI, but given what happened the last time around, we probably don't want that, right? So it says some of the Trump's cabinet nominees are opposed to submitting themselves to an FBI check until the Bureau is revamped by his chosen director. Two sources close to the transition team told Semaphore. In addition, as Tuesday, the Trump transition team was still looking into tapping into the private sector to conduct background checks on some of its nominees. So that's interesting because I did not even know that there was a way to do this. I mean, there is. I mean, I know you could go get like, what is it called? Like live scans where you go get scanned and they'll do like a background check. I mean, they have that here in California. I don't know if that's an international thing. But yes, we know the FBI is compromised. I guess I'm just curious what database they access if you're a private company to vet people.
Well, see, the problem...
And how do you do that without the FBI finding out? Like, even if you're... You know what I mean? Because I'm assuming they're going into the same systems to do this, which at the end of the day, I would assume is a government system. This data is going to be housed
Correct.
in some sort of government, let's call it information bank. I just wonder how the FBI doesn't find out.
See, the problem that I have, man, is the problem that I have now with this whole ordeal is that this is what they say. You know, they've said that this is what it's been done in the past, right? But we all know that right now, you know, as Israel Carrasco mentions, man, the FBI is compromised. So what else can they find out? Well, think about it. They have access to a lot more things, right? Personal information, personal bank, you know, they have access to a lot more things. So they're able to review some of these things and prepare the upper hand for the other guys to say, hey, there's dirt here, there's this, then that, right?
Well, we know why they're doing it.
Of
I'm just
course.
saying that even if you do this through a private company, I don't know how that process works. Is I guess what I'm getting at.
Oh, man. Well,
How does that process work? You know, so how does that process work without, at the end of the day, you having to rely on the government?
That's the thing. Well, that's the thing. You know, you got the watchdog, right? FBI just trying to gather some more things, and we already know until like this article.
Rose Victoria's can't Elon do it? Probably. The guy probably already has a freaking app, right?
Right? Yeah. You know, it's funny because, a lot of the stuff is based on analytics, right? AI and, models and stuff. Guys, this is, right now what's going on right now with not only with our country, man, but we're starting to see, how valuable, some of these apps are, don't get me wrong. Some people are afraid of AI, because it's just super power and aggressive, meaning like it dictates things, right? Now using AI, you can write things, right? You can create models. But in this case, we were able to see how AI was used to create models. You know what I mean? To show the statistics, based on the statistics and things, to actually pinpoint exactly how a election, was already projected. So, dude, come on, imagine we were able to find out on X, 2 to 3 hours before what they were playing in the media. That's why now I'm starting to see the media is dying. That media is dying, and it's unfortunate, but it's true. But in the same time, you want it to die, because the reality, what has media done for us? Misinform us, carry on their own narrative, and now we're able to have options and seeing that's one of the things that we're happy for, right?
No, yeah. So it'll be interesting, guys. And I did read another article, and I couldn't find it before here, but they were talking about how the transition team is not working. I forgot what they call it, but maybe somebody here will put it on there. But there's apparently there's a process that's typically used to transition, and so the Trump transition team is actually not using the normal process. In other words, they're not using any of the government phones. They're not using any of the buildings. I'm assuming emails. So they're pretty much leaving the transition team. The current administration has no visibility to the transition that's taking place.
And that's great. That's great. And the reason why this is great, because this should be the norm. This should be the norm where, think about what happened. Think about what just happened. In the last 4 years, who spied on who spied on who, right? It was entities in the federal government, were used to spy on a nominee, right? Like Donald Trump, right? Remember, he keeps on saying it every time in the rallies. Didn't you guys hear that? He kept on saying like, hey, they spied on me. They knew they were doing things. They added all this stuff. Now, who can trust that? It's like he said, a healthy distrust, you guys. It's having a healthy distrust, and there's nothing wrong with having a healthy distrust, because the man has the receipts. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So it says here, I just found this Trump team signs transition MOU but refuses GSA's tech. So I guess let's see what GSA's is, because I actually don't know what that is. Let's see.
Right. And while we wait, I mean, this is one of the things that the left is screaming about, bro. They're saying they're breaking all kinds of norms. You know what I mean? They're up in arms. They're flipping their arms, they're flipping their hair and saying it's not nice. You know, what they're doing is that they're not letting us know what's going on. Well, why would they? You know what I mean? Why would they when you've exploited somebody's personality, somebody's image for the last 9 years? You know what I mean? Putting them through
Oh, okay, I found it.
you know, putting them through through a rigorous lawfare after lawfare, you know, why would this guy trust you, you know?
Yeah, so the GSA, U.S. General Service Administration, so I'm on their website, a role in presidential transitions. So this is, I guess, what typically the agency that would typically help with the transition. So what is being reported is that Trump is not actually using the GSA in this transition. So I'm going to read this quick. I've never read this, but this is actually from the www.gsa.gov. The transfer of power from the administration to the next makes a significant moment in U.S. history. The U.S. General Service Administration has held a prominent role in the peaceful transition of authority between the incoming and outcoming administration since enactment of the Presidential Transition Act of 1963, as transition-focused legislation has been amended to improve the presidential transition process. GSA's role has grown and evolved. During the presidential transition, GSA provides support to eligible candidates, interagency transition teams, the presidential inauguration effort, and the outgoing president and vice president. Support for the outgoing president and vice president are only provided in the event of a chance of a change of administration. Additionally, the act requires regular reporting to Congress on the statutes of transition planning. These reports can be found on, and then it gives you a link. So apparently, so this is what I like about the fact that this is what being reported is that I don't know who's advising Trump. Again, going back to our analogy, we got a better team with some good coaching staff. But I love, this is the kind of stuff where we're just normal guys. We don't know, like, what GSA, how does that work? But the deep state knows. So obviously somebody realized, hey guys, we probably don't want to use the GSA because these guys, there's deep state implants all in the GSA. I'm sure of it, right? And now because they're helping with the transition, they're leaking all that information right out to the deep state actors that eventually are going to start now putting in place, Trump safeguards, if you will, right? And so now the article I was reading prior was talking about how because they're totally in the dark. They're totally in the dark. So the Trump is now in an offensive position and the deep state is in a defensive position because they're not involved in the transition. They have no information. They don't know what the heck is going on. So they don't know how to protect themselves against whatever transition policies, situations, conversations are taking place.
100%.
That's why. Threat to them.
That's why he's not meeting anybody nowhere else, right? Have you noticed? Every meeting that he's doing now, is doing it at Mar-a-Lago.
That's true.
Think about it. A lot of the stuff now, Heckle just said he said that he's probably rewiring the whole building. I mean, right now at this point, Heckle, buildings are empty. You know what I mean? Where the taxpayer are paying for buildings to be empty, and the AC running. So at this point, I'm telling you, this is what they don't like. And I think that's one of the great things about Trump. He's playing offense, and unfortunately, they're going to be playing defense, guessing every single of their moves. And that's good for us because we're going to see more wins, right? I mean,
well, you know what, Maria, I think I think JFK is probably a bigger value when it comes to this kind of thing because it's not like Elon knows the inner workings of the deep state.
Yep.
I mean, he's not in government, right? So I think this is more, JFK, maybe Vivek. Even though Vivek hasn't been in government, but he's pretty well read. If you listen to his interviews, he spoke to a lot of people.
I mean, come on, the guy moved on a campaign under the title Truth. I mean, so he knows He knows what's going on with the American people, especially us. We want to know the truth.
Yeah, and if you go back to watch Vivek's interview he did with Bill Barr, that's a pretty interesting interview. You know, where you really get to see Vivek, where he's asking a lot of really good questions, and he demonstrates that he has a lot of knowledge about the inner workings of the government and some of the policies. And this is why he's the one that's been out there talking about how he could, how you could do the mass firing, right? To use that as a loophole. So it just seems like Vivek did a lot of research, a lot of homework. And I think as far as when it comes to some of these things that we're hearing where you know, hey, you know, if they're having these conversations, like we saw the picture of them on Trump Force One, having McDonald's, and you know, you have JFK and Elon Trump and Junior there,
right?
And I'm pretty sure JFK is the guy saying things like, "Hey guys, how about we, you know, we really don't need to use the JSA, right?" I can see him being the guy. Vivek wasn't on that picture, but I'm not saying it took place, but there's probably a similar gathering like that. But or it could be somebody outside of that. But he definitely has some good people giving him some good advice. And unfortunately, there's also some weirdos in there that are getting him to appoint some, you know, the Marco Rubios, if you will, right? Yeah.
Right. Or that one medical.
Yeah, I hear Maria on the tech side. Yeah,
Yep.
I get you.
Yeah, 100%. No, or the medical. You know, or this guy, right? The sheriff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, whoa.
Yeah.
Or even that, man. It could be, for all I know, Matt Gaetz. You know what happened? All the heat. You know what I mean? All the heat that this guy brought. They know what was happening. They knew that, you know, that Matt Gaetz was going to be, you know, come on, Matt Gaetz is smart. He's a lawyer, so he understands. You know what I mean? Not only Matt Gaetz was the one that, you know, that removed, you know, McCarthy. You know what I mean? So the guy's smart. And I think that's why you had, you know, the swamp, or we call it the elites or whatever, the rhinos, or even that, you know, screaming. It was like throwing holy water, right? They're just grumbling, you know, because they know. And so, yeah, man.
Yeah. So moving on, guys. Last week I wanted to play this video. We started kind of talking about Tiffany Cross, and then we got into that conversation with Crash Out that made that podcast into like a 2.5 hour podcast, which is good though. It was a good conversation, but I wanted to get back to this. Is it her? Wait, I can't remember if she's Tiffany Cross. Anyhow, you guys can tell me who this chick is. She's one of them liberal pundits. She's on that same podcast we were playing last week, if you were here. But the reason I wanted to play this is because I haven't watched this full video, so we're gonna watch this together. I've watched a little bit of it. I know that she's talking about
it was Tiffany Cross.
Well, the one speaking here, though, I don't know if this is Tiffany Cross or if it's
Angela Ray, because Angela Ray's the one that's crying.
the other one, right?
Yeah, okay, Angela Ray's the one that was crying. Yeah. And, you know, that's the one where Crash Out, you know, said, hey, you know, I think he walked in because we were showing this, and I think he took it. We didn't even talk to him.
No, we didn't get to see this. But
we didn't get to see this.
So we'll get in a good conversation here about. She seems to have a problem, and this will be a good debate, I guess, to have is teaching Chris. Is it putting no? Let me back up. I think I don't know if it's putting the Bibles back, or is it prayer back in schools, or biblical or Christian values being taught in school.
Right.
So she has a problem with this. So we'll go ahead and listen to this, and I guess maybe be ready to make sure you have your arrow ready to pause, Alfred, because I have a feeling we're going to be pausing a lot on this.
Sure.
But first off, I wanted to point out her shirt, expensive and difficult.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna take a wild guess, and maybe I'll have to Google this. I wonder if she's married, because that shirt right there already sends the wrong message. Expensive and difficult, and those are two non-attractive things in a woman. Being expensive and difficult, right? If you want to be single for the rest of your life, you wear that shirt everywhere you go.
Forget it.
Right.
I'm gonna say nope, not jumping in that real quick.
Well, you know, if you're one of those women that attract a lot of attention from males,
that's what I meant. I meant to say it in a sense where, hey, you know, that right there is already making an exclamation that not only are you going to be expensive, right? It's going to cost me,
right.
and it's going to be difficult,
which is
which is even worse.
Yes.
You know.
So what I wanted to say is, if you're one of them really attractive women, that every time you go somewhere, like you have guys just constantly hitting on you and you're just sick of it, put that sweater on and walk around with it. And I wonder if that'll help your cause. I think it might actually start kind of act as a detraction mechanism, right? You might not get as much attention. So if you're one of them women and you're listening, get the shirt. Let me know how that works out. I'm curious on that social experiment. But yeah, you ready to play this video, Alfred?
Wait, hold on. My mouse just froze. Bear with me. I'm trying to look at this. Oh, jeez. Oh, here we go.
Oh, there it is.
There it is, man. It was just flying everywhere. All right. We're ready to go.
All right, be ready to pause.
Possible legal issues here, aside from the violation of separation in church and states, there are also political issues. This is why there is no off-year election cycles.
Yeah.
Take a listen to the superintendent in Oklahoma. And then on the other side of that, you're going to hear from a woman who is advancing, supporting the bill in Texas. And I'll address what they say on the other side.
Every teacher, every classroom in the state will have a Bible in the classroom and will be teaching from the Bible in the classroom.
They serve not only as moral guidelines for the individuals and for society, things like do not murder, do not commit adultery. These are things that help to create a thriving community and a thriving nation.
All right. So
Ready
you
to pause.
guys know
Pause it real quick,
for
Alfred.
years.
Okay, so I just want to make sure we all caught this. Okay, that first off, the beginning she talks about this being an issue of separation of church and state, right? And this is one of the problems that we have, where we have these people that are super ignorant, where the left has successfully put out this fake narrative of separation of church and state, as if, in other words, meaning that that we are protecting, that we are to be protected from religion, right? In other words, we need that the intention behind the separation of church and state, which I believe is not even a thing, actually, now that I think about it. You guys can correct me, but the whole intention is to protect churches from the government, not to protect us, the citizens, from religion. And that's kind of what they it's a philosophy. I actually don't even think it's not even something that's in the Constitution. But it's an idea, and the idea being that we don't want, but really what the intention behind the idea is, we don't want the government to infiltrate the churches. So we need to protect churches from the government, because we know that the government is one of the most dangerous things in the world, and the church being a very dangerous weapon that could be used by the government to push their agendas. I mean, if they're kind of somewhat successfully doing it right now with the Catholic Church,
100%.
You know, where they've successfully, the left has been able to infiltrate, because we know the Pope is a communist. The Pope is a socialist, I should say, right? Same thing, communist, socialist, whatever. He's a socialist. It's clear the guy's a socialist. So socialism has infiltrated the Catholic Church, and therefore we see now the church, what the most powerful church in the world, does not even stand in the way. We think back to those of us that were old enough to remember Pope John Paul II. Do you guys know there is no way that any of this woke agenda they'd get away with it? He would have been speaking out against same-sex marriage. He would have been speaking out against abortion and the funding of abortion, right? But the Catholic Church, who has the biggest platform in the world, through the papacy, did I say that right? Anyways, you guys know what I'm saying.
The Vatican and see.
Right. There you go, Rose. Exactly right. It was part of the letter from Thomas Jefferson. The end of the sentence is, so that the state may not interfere
100%.
with the church, like what we saw in COVID, right? But we see it playing out right now in the Catholic Church, where the Catholic Church is non-existent. They do not defend Christian values or biblical values. They don't even defend their own definition of marriage. Right? Anyhow, so I wanted to stop there. Papacy. Thank you, El.
Thank you, Arturito. Welcome, Arturito.
El Turito. Yes, guys, you guys will learn bad memory and problems pronouncing difficult words.
Those are tough, bro.
But
Even
yes,
for me.
yeah, exactly right. But yeah, call out the shirt. So let's go ahead and keep listening to this. We'll get into this conversation, see what you guys think. We heard the guy say they're putting Bibles in schools and teaching directly from the Bible, if I heard that correctly, right?
Correct.
All right.
Years, probably the past 2 or 3 years, all we heard from parents and activists at these school board meetings was about mind your business and let my kids learn what I want them to learn.
That's right.
So I just want to remind you what we were hearing when it came to issues like CRT. Nick, let's roll that sound.
The DEI program is a Trojan horse that will bring in a slippery slope. A slippery slope that will ultimately end in critical race theory, white repentance, and the McDonaldization of America's students.
Please get back to just teaching our children math, science, factual history, equity of opportunity, and teaching them how to think.
Hello, I'm
Go ahead,
Patrick
pause.
Stewart.
Of course.
No, that's a good place to pause anyways. Go ahead and let that play out, Alfred. So, okay, guys, so I have to confess, they're making a good argument here. Okay? Go ahead and let's finish listening. So far, I mean, obviously I'm biased, guys. I'm a Christian. I'm a born again Christian. I believe in the authority of the Bible. I would love nothing more than the Bible to be taught in every single school. Okay. But let's go ahead and finish this up. But when I'm listening to this, I'm kind of like they're making a good argument, but we'll get into this. Go ahead.
What to think.
So the hypocrisy of it all. Right, exactly. Now think about if your child is Muslim or Buddhist or Jewish and they're teaching from a Bible, the part of the Bible that you don't necessarily believe in. The hypocrisy when it comes to these moral issues, not after you just elected the pussy grabber and chief, not after you just put up someone who was accused of sexual assault with teenagers, Matt Gaetz, for Attorney General. Also, maybe focus on the issues in your own district. In Texas, this year, Texas has the 6th highest rate of bullying and the 8th highest dropout rate in the nation. The state ranked 34 for its median ACT scores and 40 in nationwide ranking of SAT scores. That's according to website Wallet Hub. Oklahoma has been ranked 46th in the nation in overall child care well-being, 49th in education. That's according to the Annie Casey Foundation. Louisiana is in the 50th spot for the 2nd year in a row in rankings for the state as a whole. It ranked 47th in education, 46th in healthcare, 49th in the environment, and 49th in infrastructure, 44th in the economy. Please don't talk to us about how seriously you take education when you just put up Linda McMahon, former WWE executive, to dismantle the Department of Education. It's a shit show across the country.
Yeah, Chip, the part that, in addition to obviously
that's enough. It's funny how they berate these people like Linda McMahon, they just, I don't know, it's just so stupid. And people, the problem is their audience falls for this stuff. Like, I can't believe, what was she, the CEO or something? Like, she's not the CEO, but she's
an executive.
She's an executive for the WWE. She's the McMahon's daughter, right? She's part of the McMahon family. Okay, and their audience listens to that, not understanding that you understand that the WWE is a highly successful entity, that she's an executive of a historic, well-run business, very profitable business. And for some reason, because it's the WWE, she's like not qualified. What makes all these idiots that've been in government qualified? They're all failed people that never made it in the public sector. That's what these people are. But anyways, I don't want to go that far into that, but that's drives me nuts. But Oh no, let me read Maria. Said proud Catholic. So Maria says, but I remain respectful to all religious people, as long as I am given. Don't let it move. Given the same in return. I was fortunate enough to send my kids to Catholic school, but this thing keeps moving. Okay, but I'm not sure how I feel about this public school. Yeah, I'm a little bit for a number of reasons. We may open up a can of worms if we push Christian values in schools because of others will want to join. Well, see, so Roseboro says in our original school system, the kids were taught directly from the Bible. It was taken out of. Yes, so I know where she's going with that. So yeah, I'm torn between Rose and Maria. Alfred, first of all, okay, so let's start with the fact that they're calling us hypocrites because, you know, we were against CRT, and yes, it to a certain extent, I guess I have to agree that we want our kids to be taught math, reading, and arithmetic, right? So I guess I think I'm gonna make up my mind right now just talking it out loud. Well, no. Well, we do, because CRT, again, you're teaching critical race theory, right? You're teaching racism. You're teaching children that to judge people by the content of their skin. You're teaching them that white people inherently are racist, right? You're teaching them a victim mentality. So you can't compare CRT versus teaching the Bible, right? Because then on that podcast, whatever her name is, she was talking about when she starts listing all the problems the schools have, you know, their low test scores, right? On that list, she mentions a bullying problem. So wouldn't you think that teaching kids biblical principles, Christian values would probably solve your bullying problem? So I wouldn't bring up bullying as, I guess, a reason not to teach biblical or teaching the Bible. Like you're comparing apples to oranges. It's just it's not even a question. It's not even a contest. CRT, the Bible, guys. I mean, come on. But now, to one of the other points being made, I do get a little concerned about the slippery slope argument, because again, guys, we can take it like this: if we're gonna make it okay to teach the Bible, which I'm 100% for this, obviously because I'm biased over it, we also have to consider what happens when they want to if somebody wants to bring in the Quran. You know what I'm saying? So you know, are we? Is it a slippery slope? I mean, I think that's a better argument to make, right? Than her argument about CRT versus the Bible and how we're hypocrites because we were against CRT. Everybody should be against CRT, for one. Okay, everybody should be. You can't make a good case for it. The Bible, on the other hand, yes, there's a perfectly good argument for teaching the Bible. First of all, you can teach kids how to read, okay, by using the Bible. Just like it was mentioned, they used to teach reading from the Bible. That's how they used to learn how to read. It's from reading straight from the Bible, right? And you don't have to be a Christian. I mean, even atheists, okay? Atheists hate everything about the Bible except for the values, right? They don't want Jesus. They don't want to obey and be obedient to his will. But they agree with, you know, we shouldn't kill, we shouldn't steal, we shouldn't covet. You know what I mean? We should honor our parents. They're okay with that part of the Bible, right? So they even have to admit that the Bible has a lot of value to it, a lot of positive, even outside, let's just say, a religious perspective, right? If you want to solve the bullying problem, if you want to have less mass shootings, I would argue that teaching the Bible is going to go a long way in helping solve that problem.
100%. No, 100. I agree with you. And I think for the most part, somebody mentioned it here. Initially, that's the way it was. Guys, why was the reason why the Pilgrims, came from New England? What was it? Because think about it. They felt that the mothership, right, was getting too out of touch with what? With faith.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they migrated, right, into a better land, a new opportunities, right? Initially, think about it. They came because they were the persecution.
Yeah.
Because of the persecution, not only because of King, because of the system currently, but it's true. The foundations, the values were biblically.
Right.
Judeo-Christians. You know what I mean? And it worked for many years, for many centuries. Think about it. When did this change? In 1930, 1940, 1950, right? When you got what's his name? Money, right? Coming with all these ideologies and all these things. Alfred Kingsley, remember?
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. That's when things started changing. When progressives, I strongly believe progressives, the virus, to be honest with you. But, when this ideology came in and got injected into the system, what happened? It was easy way to maneuver ideas, right?
Right.
And it changed. Everything changed. But at the beginning, 1920s, people used to pray. People used to, read the Bible in the beginning, when you went to school. And it was good. It was great, But hey.
Oh, Dawkins now calls himself a cultural Christian, as he has now found his UK falling apart without Christianity. Yeah, well, but so I don't know, guys. I guess I thought I was gonna be decided by the time I got talking about this, but I'm undecided on this, guys. I'm leaning towards.
Are you talking about that? This person has brought a good point. I mean, the thing is this. I understand the conflicting, right? The conflicted is that this is what they know. You know what I mean? They know that they came into a system where church, or at least the teaching of the Bible, was already removed out of the public education. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now they're coming in here, and now they're trying to make a case of why this is a bad idea. And you hit it right in the money. I think earlier, yesterday or last week, you mentioned it. And we didn't get to talk about it because of course we were talking about other things, but you mentioned the truth, the analogy of they make a good valid point in a sense where they're right, but this is what they know. But how about those people that that are okay with this? This is the way, the intention of the values, right?
Yeah, I guess. Look, at the end of the day, there's we understand that wokeism is a religion. The woke is a religion. We get that, right? These environments, it's basically a religion, right? The global warming crowd, it's pretty much a religion. Realistically, we could consider. I mean, where am I going with this? I'm just thinking like if we do not have. I guess I'm convincing myself right now, guys. This is why I keep stopping. I keep stopping because, again, I'm conflicted because I'm a believer, right? And I believe in the Bible, right? And I believe that I would want nothing more to reinstate and affirm that we are a Christian nation, right? And like somebody else called out too, they made a good point. Back in those times, Jefferson, everybody was a believer. Everybody was. I mean,
yes.
Everybody was. I mean, there was no. Generally speaking, guys, I'm talking John. There was no atheist, if you will, right? Everybody was a believer, a Christian believer. So it was a different time, and I guess the problem, what we have to realize is that unfortunately, we're not really a Christian nation anymore. We have many different people from many different religions here. Christianity still being the predominant belief system, but I guess I do have to see this as a slippery slope. Heckle says power back to the states. I guess maybe the answer is like, yeah. If we're gonna, I guess we have to look at it like this, guys. We talked about this before. Who was it that I was talking about? Always says that there's no solutions. There's only trade-offs, right? There's no such thing as a solution. There's only trade-offs, right?
Andy Falco and his wife.
Who? No, it wasn't them. No, it was. I think it was. What's his name? Not Larry Alder, but oh, we were just talking about him. Swole.
Thomas Sowell.
Thomas Sowell.
Thomas Sowell.
Thomas Sowell. I think he always talks about how there's no solution.
There you
There's
go.
only.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Rose.
thank you, Rose. I got it this time. There's no solution. There's only trade-offs, guys. So I guess thinking along those lines, right?
Yep.
If we decide that we're, us as a team here, because we're talking, if we decide that we are going to encourage the Bible being taught in the schools as a curriculum, and we're going to teach from the Bible, then understand that the trade-off is that even if we leave this at a local level, then that means that the school district down the street from you can teach from the Quran.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then that means we have to be okay with that. Is that what we're willing to do? I think really what the answer is, I think maybe the compromise is, maybe we should just be happy with allowing prayer in school, allowing Bible study in school, right?
Which is something that's happening now?
I think that's totally, which is happening. But I think that's something that I'm absolutely have no issue with. I don't see a slippery slope there.
But if it becomes if it becomes the main focus, religion studies, right? If it becomes the main, like you mentioned, if Christianity is what's taught, in that school, then there's not.
I think maybe the Texas in their case,
Right,
I'm agreeing.
exactly.
I'm not agreeing with her
gonna
with her argument, because she's saying, hey, CRT versus
completely
Christianity.
different. Now you got to think this is how these people are smart. This is the way they're smart and they word it right.
Yeah.
They're calling us hypocrite because we're not okay with CRT, but we are okay with the Bible.
Right.
Being taught. But guys, you said it earlier. It's not about the Bible. It's the principles. The principles of the Bible.
Right.
Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not rob. Those are the principles, right? But they're putting it in a sense where it's a catch-22 now. They're saying it's the Bible, right?
Right.
To create what? Animosity towards other people that don't believe in it.
Yeah, so it's a tough one, guys. I think that maybe I think I'm deciding that this Texas school is, I think they are going too far with it, because we are opening up the slippery slope, and I don't know, is the trade-off worth it? Where now you're having the Quran taught at another school, and maybe it's a very good school, and now you're gonna have kids like, say, my kid is a really good school, or I mean, my kid wouldn't go there because that wouldn't be my priority. But like you have kids that are not Muslim at the time, but they're gonna go there because it's a very good school and they got a really good football team, right? Let's say, but they teach the Quran there. It's kind of like what happens in Catholic school now. I mean, you look at here, one of the biggest schools in the nation, Modern Day, St. John Bosco. I mean, I can tell you now, all these kids that go play football there because they're nationally ranked team, usually 1 or 2 in the nation, super great football program. Most of those kids aren't even Catholic. As a matter of fact, I know some of them. I mean, matter of fact, there was parents from my Christian school, church, that were sending their kids there, because it's a very good school. It's a Catholic school, not a far stretch, right? But it's Catholicism versus, our version of Christianity. There's a difference there. But my point being here is that we are opening the door, I guess, for others to be led astray, right? Opportunity for other religions to convert people. I guess maybe, so I think as believers, we should just, given the fact that, like, cause somebody else mentioned, we are kind of a secular nation. I think the only way it works out is if we go back to the times where, pretty much everybody, 90-something% of the American population is Christian, right? And I think that would be an environment where, at that point, it makes sense.
Right.
What's the problem? We should be teaching the Bible in the school. We should be teaching it from the Bible. Your English book should be the Bible, right?
Which it is
in
happening.
that case.
Yeah, which it is happening in a lot of red states. Okay, like for example, Alabama.
Yeah.
Right. And you got a lot of places like Iowa, or Idaho, you know, there are a lot. I mean, you get to see that, you know, the lower levels, or even that the smaller, the rural places,
Yeah.
they're still old school, man. They're still teaching people, you know, about the Bible. They're still Bible principles. Okay, that's one of the things that we got to get straight. The Bible principles. I think that's important to you know, to express, you know. But these people are just bringing it out and just saying, hey, be careful, right? Or hypocrites, because now
I mean, they have a point to a certain extent, because, you know, like they showed on the video, they're right. People, you know, our side was going out there saying, you know, we don't need you guys poisoning our kids' mind, which I wouldn't say, you know, teaching the Bible is poisoning their mind, but realistically, what we're saying is that's something that should be left to the parents, which I guess I have to agree with that. You know, maybe that's something we don't want to, you know, that should be up to the parents, I guess, what religion they want to teach their kids. So if we go along those lines, we can't be hypocrites. And we're saying to them, guys, we just want our kids to be taught math, reading, and arithmetic. And how about let's throw in history and
thank you, Heckel.
History and ethics, right? So they know how the government works. Let's get those things, and we're good. We don't need it. We don't need anything else. So I'm good. And then just allow prayer in the school. If my kid wants to pray, if my kid wants to have Bible study group, which they do have that. My kids' middle school, they had Bible. I mean, I know people who that's their ministry. They go to the public schools and do Bible studies, and kids go during their recess and their lunch, right? So that's allowed. So let's protect those things, and let's not get too crazy now and start setting a precedent. How about we focus on bringing more people to Christ? Let's get our numbers up to in the 90 percentile, right? And then once we have accomplished that, then we'll start teaching Bibles at public schools.
100%, man. Heckel says, I think it's okay to teach the Bible, and I don't think it's okay to teach anything else straight up. Yeah, straight up.
Yeah, the thing, Heckel, is, I guess it's just the slippery slope argument. That's my problem with it. I would just be like, you're right, bro. Like, I'm 100%, but like I'm saying, the trade-off is, bro, you set the precedent. You have to be okay with that other school down the street teaching the Quran or teaching whatever, right? Whatever religion.
But that's what he's saying. That's what he's saying. He's okay with the Bible and nothing else.
Yeah,
no compromise.
But unfortunately, you know, our Constitution wouldn't allow for that. Like, we can't say like, hey guys, you know, you're not allowed to have a non.
First Amendment, bro. First Amendment is, you know,
it's protected. So
yeah, it's protected. So it's you know,
That's
Arturito said thinks that such starts at home. Fundamentals, 100%. Arturito, that's 100%. Yeah. That's true. That's facts right there. You know, the fact of the matter is that our education should be at home. You know, as parents, we have a big responsibility to bring up our children, you know, in the walks of whatever we believe in, right? Our faith, our values. So when we go into the secular, like like Heckel mentioned, you know, the secular world, you know, they're not bent, you know, they're not confused, because guess what? Arturito made it perfectly clear, man. Our education, the fundamentals, should start at home.
Yeah.
And from then we influence, right? From the inside out, you know, into our culture. And that's how we make a change, you know? So 100%. I agree with all these, man. Thank you guys for participating, man. These guys are on it, bro.
Yeah, thanks for participating today, guys, because honestly, we had to put a quick little agenda for today's podcast. Was too busy to kind of...
There's just so much going on, man. We're catching up, bro. You guys know we got approximately how many more days to our inauguration? I think we got, 13, 15 more days?
Man, guys, I want to go so bad.
Dude, we got approximately 15 days to inauguration. So a lot of people want to go. A lot of people are preparing for it. A lot of, you know, some of the media like us, you know, people that are out here in the outskirts, just having these connections with people. We're having these discussions with people where, you know, we're I don't know about you guys, man, but I don't know about you, bro. But bro, over since November 5th, bro, I've been walking around my neighborhood, bro, with my chest up, bro. You know what I mean? Like, so there's so much peace, brother. You know, so much peace. I don't know about you guys. You guys can share your experience, but there's no issues. You know, I'm not pressured. There's no pressure. You know what I mean?
Well, I'll be honest with you, bro. I was good the first week, but right now I'm back to like keeping my eyes on like Trump.
Right? What's going on?
Doing? and who he's appointing and like what the hell you can't. I'm kind of already, I mean it's exciting, but yeah, we can't. I just feel like right now until inauguration date and everybody's appointed, like I'm not comfortable. You know what I mean? Like yes, it is less stress, Heckle, but I still have in the back of my head like, man, okay, until everybody's confirmed, until like the key guys, man, Kash Patel gets in, bro. Yes, you know what I'm saying? We're back to celebrating. Kash Patel gets up. We're like, yes, we're coming back in the podcast again. Like we started off the first one after. But you know what I'm saying? Like just pumped, right? Once we get our key guys in there, I'm gonna feel so much better, for sure.
But
and I want to start seeing results.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? Like I want to see like day one, Kash Patel like shows up like like the meme with Elon Musk and he comes in with the sink.
The sink.
You know what I'm saying? Like that. There's just some things that still have to happen, man. And I just
I can't wait, bro. Kash Patel mentioned this on one of his interviews. He said, the first thing that he's gonna do is he's gonna put that building, the FBI building, as a museum. That's what I'm saying, though. As a museum, yes. I'm gonna feel better. Like, boom. The day the beautiful museum's open. Like Trump's gonna be out there. Like it's the greatest, most beautiful FBI museum. It's fantastic. It's great. It was built under budget and fast and quick. We
under
made
budget.
It fast. We made it fast. We made it fast. Really easy.
Right? Really easy. And then Trump's gonna go out and get a great deal in a new building in I don't know, Idaho, Iowa, somewhere, Kansas, somewhere else. That's when I'm get pumped. That's when it's gonna get exciting, guys.
Yep, under time.
That's what I'm looking forward.
Under time, under budget. Yeah. And then
under time and under budget.
Under time and under budget. And at the same time, some of these policies, man. He said he's gonna put FBI agents to be working police patrol. I want to see that, bro. I want to see that so bad, because it's needed, bro. Yep. It's so bloated. You got so many agents, so many people just sitting there waiting for what?
Yep. And yeah, just things have to happen, guys. There's been a lot of promises, okay, guys, a lot of day one promises, okay, and maybe not day one, but at least the first month, the first 30 days, guys, I better see some awesome stuff. Kash Patel announced, okay, closing up shop, right? I want what's her name, our new attorney general, which okay, we'll see how she goes.
Yeah, Pam Bondi.
Pam Bondi. Okay, I want it announced, like, and we better have the Epstein list within the first 30 days. We better see the Epstein list. We better see all the JFK files opened up, right? J6 pardon, everybody's pardon done. I mean, those 30 days, guys. That's at least 3 things we need to see
happen right away.
Right away. Ukraine war is over, and within the first 30 days, I better start seeing the paddy wagons loading up illegal immigrants. And a lot of flights heading outside the United States. I mean, all that within 30 days. But anyhow, guys, next Tuesday is second Tuesday, and so I will not be here. We'll see who Alfred comes up fools into filling in for me.
I'm probably gonna bring I'm gonna ask here, man. We got so many people in the chat, man. I don't know. I got Heckle who could join us. I got Maria guest speakers. You know, we got so many people now, man. Thanks so much for this space, because now we can plug anybody, man, and bring them in here and be part of it, man.
Not everybody could do what I could do, Alfred. I'm not that replaceable.
No, 100%.
Yeah, guys, but thanks for joining us, guys. Again, we're here every Tuesday, except for I'm not here every second Tuesday of the month, 7 o'clock. Don't remember to go to the Unrestrained podcast on YouTube, the Lexit platforms. We're on X.
YouTube.
We're going live
on Facebook. Real Lexit. Also want to remind you guys that we do have a lot of people ask us, hey, what's going on with Lexit, man? Well, here we are, man. Every Mondays at 8 p.m. we got the Talk About It podcast, man, with Israel. We join in here. We have kind of the similar conversation, man. We also before that, we have a Spanish session. I know some of you that want to learn Spanish. Well, guess what? We got the Lex It Live with Frankie and Oscar and myself, and we're just talking to people in Espanol. You know what I mean? So if you have Spanish friends, send them our way. And, don't forget, every Tuesdays, other than the second week, we do have the Unrestrained podcast with Isaac and myself. And, man, we enjoy having these conversations with you all. And the reason why we do this is because, man, right now, there's just a great opportunity just for us to come together and have discussions, right? And open up we don't have to agree. But at least we're having discussions. That's exactly what the left removed from us, right? They didn't want no discussions. Nobody talk about nobody. You can't go worship the Lord. You can't do all this stuff, right? Now, look at us. We're coming together, having discussions, freedom again. And that's what it's all about, man. So I want to thank Lexit and the platforms for allowing us just to come in and join in to have these discussions with you all, man. So see you guys next week. And don't forget, man, help us by sharing this. We don't get paid for this. Isaac and myself, we're just, volunteers. We get to do this because we love it. And but if you guys can do us a quick favor, if you guys can hit the share button so we can defeat the algorithms. You guys know Mark Zuckerberg, right? Met with Trump. So something good is happening, but I don't trust it. Healthy distrust. You know who Mark Zuckerberg is, right? He controls Instagram and he controls Facebook, and he blocked a lot of people. Remember, he blocked a lot of people when COVID was around, remember? So distrust, healthy distrust, man. But yeah, yet again, man, thank you so much for your time. We will see each other next week, man. And so God bless you guys and take care, all right?
All right, guys, bye.
Take care.